So there's a thought that many women over 50 have, but almost nobody is going to say it out loud. It can sound something like this. I'm too old to keep working like this, but I'm too broke to stop. I don't have enough in retirement. I have no savings. I have too much debt. So when that thought pops up, we usually shut it down real quick, don't we? We tell ourselves, oh, we should be grateful. Other people have it a whole lot worse. We're going to figure it out somehow. But that thought keeps coming back. Late at night, you're laying in bed, you're in the shower, you're driving home from work after a particularly hard day. And if you've ever had that thought, this video isn't here to scare you. It's here to sit with you in it. Because pretending it isn't there hasn't made it go away, has it? I'm Cindy. I'm a retired registered nurse, a proud mom of 3 wonderful adult kids and 1 granddaughter. And today, we're going to talk about this phase of life. It's a transition phase. It catches so many of us off guard, especially women, not because they failed, but because no one prepared us. I wasn't taught like that. I wasn't taught to think about money. I was actually taught, as the tail end of the baby boomers, that it's unseemly for women to talk about it. And so here's what makes the season so hard. Your body is tired in a way that rest doesn't fully fix. Your patience for nonsense is gone, and your tolerance for burnout is 0. And the freedom that you thought would come with age hadn't shown up yet. The mailman must be on vacation, right? Instead, you're standing in this in-between place. Too experienced to be treated like you're just starting out, but too friggin' tired to keep pushing the way you did in your 30s and 40s. And yet, you're still worried about money. That tension alone is exhausting. I don't know about you, but the mental tension from work, it was much worse for me than the physical. And most of us women carry it silently. So women, especially women, we spend our lives being responsible. We're the caregivers, the nurses, the teachers. We showed up. We worked the overtime. We worked short. We did what was practical, not glamorous. You weren't chasing a pipe dream. You were handling your business. So when this chapter feels a little shaky, it feels really personal, doesn't it? Like you miscalculated something. But I want you to hear this early, and we're going to come back to it again. This feeling is not a personal failure. It's a structural problem, a systems problem. Let that sink in a minute. So most women, like me and you, don't wake up panicking. It's quieter than that. It's the way you check your bank account twice. The way you hesitate before booking a trip. The way you think, I should be saving more, but I don't know where it's going to come from. Am I right? Have you done that? It's the low-level anxiety that hums in the background. And it's made worse by the messages that we have absorbed for decades, our whole life really. Work hard and everything's going to work out, right? That big American dream. Be loyal and you'll be taken care of. If you do the right thing, security will follow. But for so many women, and me included, the math didn't math. That math did not add up. And here's the part that nobody likes to say. Staying longer in a job that drains you doesn't always fix the fear. For me, it only made it worse. Sometimes it deepens it. Because now you're tired and worried. Let that land. Think about that. So I want to slow this down a minute here, because shame creeps in quietly. And you start thinking, I should have invested differently, if you invested at all. I should have planned better. I should have known more. But let's be honest. Most women were never taught how money actually works. We were taught how to be dependable, how to stretch a dollar, and how to sacrifice, not how to build leverage, not how to create income that doesn't rely on our bodies, especially in caregiving professions like nursing, teaching. The system wasn't designed with your longevity in mind. It was designed for productivity, not sustainability. So if you're feeling worn down and financially uneasy at the same time, that's because you were failed, not because you failed. You outgrew a system that never planned for you. And if you're like my family or my generation, I was taught your husband will take care of you. Well, that didn't work out so well for me. How about you? And naming this matters because when you stop blaming yourself, you can start thinking clearly. And a lot of times this is where advice will fall short. Just work a few more years. Pick up extra shifts. Get a second job. Tough it out. And here's the reality that most women aren't going to say out loud. Your body has a vote. And after 50, it starts voting differently, doesn't it? More hours doesn't mean more peace. Sometimes it just means more exhaustion, mental and physical. And when your energy is gone, your ability to imagine your options shrinks. So you don't need more pressure now. You need breathing room. You need mental breathing room, financial breathing room, and emotional breathing room. That doesn't come from white-knuckling it harder. That comes from reassessing how income fits into your life, not the other way around. So let's talk about the phase that stops so many of us cold. I'm too old to start. I can't start over. But here's the truth. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience, from discernment, from knowing what you will never tolerate again. And that matters. For me, it was knowing I wouldn't go back to direct patient care and I wouldn't punch a time clock. Those were two critical pieces for me. As we age, women over 50, we generally make better decisions because we're not chasing approval anymore. We're chasing alignment. And yet we've been conditioned to believe that opportunity has an expiration date. Well, I'm here to tell you it doesn't. What does expire is your willingness to live misaligned. And that's not a weakness, that's wisdom. So if something inside you feels really restless right now, that's not failure knocking. Here's what nobody prepares you for. When you hit 50, a lot of times you stop wanting more and start wanting better. Better use of your time, more intentional, better use of your energy, and better conversations, better mornings, waking up slow, not having to rush. You're not asking for extravagance. You're asking for enough. Enough income to breathe, enough flexibility to live, enough peace to enjoy what you've built. And that's reasonable. Wanting stability is not greed. Wanting options is not selfish, especially when you don't want your children to worry about you later, especially if you still want to live life fully now. And this is where a lot of women start quietly exploring alternatives, not impulsively, not recklessly, but with curiosity. Because learning doesn't stop as we get older. We need to keep our brains sharp. We need to learn new skills. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, something has got to change, but I don't know what yet, that's okay. You don't have to have a 10-year plan. You don't need to have everything reinvented overnight. You just need permission. Give yourself permission to question the old rules, to stop assuming that suffering is required, to stop believing that exhaustion is the price. And you're allowed to want a different rhythm, and you're allowed to explore what that could look like without pressure, no panic, no shame. So if this conversation feels relieving, stay with me because this channel exists for women exactly in this space. Not to sell you a fantasy or something that is not real, but to remind you that you still have choices. And we'll talk through them one honest conversation at a time.